yes, you're basically setting up a bank account that has the promise of up to £3,000. If you put in £12,000, you get you'd have 15,000 to put down a deposit on a house.
Yeah, I mean that sounds great. I think that's a really good thing, because that's the sort of thing that's kind of seems unimaginable, to be able to save up that much money. Seems kind of hard in this sort of times.
Yeah. What did you make of that, Shannon?
I'm terrified about it. I mean, at the moment, I'm in a private rental, and I'm struggling with that. So the thought of having to actually get on the property ladder and purchase a property is terrifying, because I don't think I'm going to be able to afford it. So this scheme, to me, is almost like a deal breaker. I'm really encouraged by it.
Would you rather he said something more immediate, perhaps more immediately useful in terms of sort of helping you with your rents, for example, which is what Ed Miliband's been talking about? Kenny, you feel strongly about that?
Yeah, no, I feel strongly in regards to the fact that I feel like he's helping first-time buyers, which I think is a positive step. But the problem is, our prospect of getting a house for me is still pretty much the same. It's just he might have lessened maybe a year off our time, literally. So for me, Shannon and Craig are still in the same position. I think the problem is it's tackling first-time buyers. The problem is houses are still worth almost 7 times people's income in the first place. So we're still going to save up for a very long time.
Do you think by the time you save that £3,000 won't amount to much?
Exactly, because I'll still be about 50. so for me, unless he's going to tell me, Kenny, you can get home at 30 or 35 instead, then maybe that'd be a much better proposal. I think he needs to tackle the whole fact that there's rogue landlords who are overpricing people like myself who are students and families, and literally they're outpricing people out of particular areas in the UK, particularly London.
Yeah, another thing that came out of George Osborne's speech is that he really made a mockery of Ed Miliband's decision to try and bring down tuition fees. What's your feeling on that? You're laughing, Shannon. What do you make of that?
Oh, the whole tuition fee thing, it really, really irritates me. There's just, no matter what they're going to do, it's not going to affect me, so I'm not bothered about it. If they need to be able to appeal to me now, and I feel like they've just totally dodged my generation. They've given us nothing to appeal to us in that in the budget. So tuition fees, it's nothing. They need to just move on and get over it.
So what's your situation, Shannon? Are you a student?
Yep, I'm a second year, so obviously no matter what they do with these tuition fees, I've paid the £9,000. That's it. I'm going to be in this amount of debt, and whatever they do, it's not going to affect me. So I don't see why I should vote for someone because they want to lower tuition fees.
Well, I mean, the government argument is that debt, you only have to pay it back once you're earning a reasonable amount of money. And if you don't get beyond that stage, then you'll never have to pay it back. Is that any comfort to you?
Not really. I did a bit of research earlier because in the WhatsApp group we had, I got into a bit of a discussion with one of you, and I'm not sure who it was, but realistically, whoever it was who said that we're going to be aiming to be earning over 21 grand.
That was me.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, because then I did some research and I was realising if we start, even though it's still on the interest payments or whatever, it's going to rack up. We're going to see that off our wage packet, and then we're just going to be thinking, it's still extortionate. But
I kind of disagree, really, because I feel like it's fine for us to pay our own way. It's kind of like an investment in our future, because obviously if you're going to university, you're going to give yourself that extra step up in career. So the aim would be...
There's hardly any jobs. Not to interrupt you.
It's not a step. It's just I decided to stay in education as long as I can, because there's no jobs out there. You can't just leave school and walk straight into a well-paid job.
Yeah, exactly, because what happens, they tell you go to university. When you go to university, they tell you need experience. So then you go and find a job.
Mental health is an issue that young people talk about a lot. I mean, have any of you got experiences of people who've suffered mental health problems? And is this something, I mean, the government and particularly the Liberal Democrats sort of have latched onto this as a significant issue and something where they are increasing funding. Is that something that you guys have come across in your experience that you feel isn't properly dealt with at the moment?
I'm all for putting as much money as you can into mental health, because I've had a friend who suffered from well, we were in primary school, and she did not get the help she needed, and it's gradually got worse and worse and worse. And I just feel like if they nipped it while she was still very young, she wouldn't be having the problems she is today, when she's like very low on confidence, she's not happy with herself. And there's so much that could have been done, but I just wish it had been done sooner. It's all fine and well doing it now, but again, they've failed the generation before them.
Yeah, does anyone else have similar experiences of that?
I see a lot of the girls on the internet these days like talking, especially the younger girls, because it's so easy to see things like images of self-harm and things like that, especially online. You can find anything like that, and it's more accessible. So I guess maybe they should do something to kind of target that, really. Try and get it before it actually develops into an issue.
Yeah, I think coming back to your point, Shannon, I think one of the important things, and I think Shannon mentioned it subtly, is that a lot of the funding needs to start from people whilst they're very young. I think mental health should be given the same priority as physical health and physical education. The reason being that if I grew up in school knowing that if I feel a certain way, I should go and speak to someone about it, then you'll get people into that culture and behavior of speaking to people about their issues or how they feel. Whereas when it seems like a taboo subject in school and society, people don't want to talk about it, and people who are suffering, they feel like they can't speak to them because they'll be judged. And I think if people learn about it in school, about mental health, then people will be more acceptive and understanding about the issues people are going through. And that way you save much more money and you deal with the problem early on.
I'll just go through each of you. Is there a political party that is appealing to you more than the others at this stage? In terms of, I'll start with you, Shannon. What do you think? Going into the general election.
I'm a bit stumped because obviously I've seen the budget announcement today, but I've also been to Ed Miliband when he's been in the local area and seen what he's had to say and stuff like that. So I didn't know what I was doing, but I have a good idea. Things are a bit clearer after today, but that's all I'm saying. You don't need to know who I'm voting for.
Kenny?
I'm going to follow.
Any clearer than that?
I'm going to follow Shannon's very tight approach. I think in terms of the parties, I've said some interesting stuff, but I'm going to preserve my judgment up until after the TV debates and literally to the time. Because the thing about political parties, they can say something tomorrow and you think, I'm not even going to vote for this one at all. Or you might just, so for me, I think I'd rather just wait. And it's interesting you said that. I think in terms of who people are going to vote for, the same way you vote in the booth privately, you should keep it private as well. And that way you have more politicians working harder to win the vote.
I don't mind saying I think I'm going to choose Conservative. No, I'll most definitely choose Conservative, I think. I just don't think that it's time to change everything again. I just think that what they seem to be doing and the people in charge seem to be more, I don't know, I just feel like they know what they're doing a little bit more than Ed Miliband and things like that. And I think personality is a big part of, especially in this new world of young people, personality is such an important thing, and appearance and everything like that. And
appearance?
It seems like they do. 100%. The new world is all about appearance.
Now, Craig, that sounds terrible. That's terrible. Because basically, what you're basically telling me that
Instagram world of Kim Kardashian and people like that. That is what people care about. 100%. That's what people care about.